State leaders are holding a news conference right now on their response to Helene's aftermath. You can watch that right now on WYFF4.com, and we will bring you those updates momentarily.
But first, Greenville County leaders are holding a news conference right now about the county's response to Helene's aftermath. Let's go ahead and listen into that.
Coming in to help behind the tree cutting. But I just want to talk real quickly before I turn it over to the professionals. Greenville County operations, just a quick update on that. We're going to open administrative offices at the county. We do have power at the county now. We're going to open, I think, at 10 a.m. tomorrow, noon tomorrow. And we would ask the public again for patience. A lot of the employees that are coming in tomorrow have small families. They're without power, so we'll probably have limited staff. There'll be some work at home. But if there's a need for you to come by, I think we'll be open at noon tomorrow. You can pay taxes online. We've shut off any administrative fees for that, so you can go online and pay taxes without any fees. And then because our teams, our code teams and other teams are out in the field, we cannot do building permits at this time. So those are just a couple things about County Council. We will have our regularly scheduled meeting Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. We're going to postpone some public hearings to allow people another couple weeks to get through the damage and be able to come down and testify if needed. But we will have a County Council meeting Tuesday at 6 o'clock. We'll have some personnel with us to give a briefing to Council and a briefing to the public if you would like to tune in for that or come to that. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Stump for her daily update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jessica Stump, Jessica Stumpf, Director of Emergency Management for Greenville County. My update today is a little bit more extensive than it was yesterday. We have some new information that we want to provide to those in Greenville County. Our Operations Center continues to be in Operation Condition 1 with representatives from Emergency Management, Roads and Bridges, DOT, EMS, the Sheriff's Office, South Carolina Emergency Management Division, the National Guard. We have Colonel Brian Pipkin with us here today, and the City of Greenville, as well as our Community Emergency Response Team. FEMA has approved individual assistance program to help Greenville County. This program provides direct federal assistance to residents who incurred uninsured damages to their property as a result of the storm. Individuals and business owners who sustained losses in this area can begin applying for assistance by registering online at www.disasterassistance.gov. Again, that is disasterassistance.gov. Or they can call 1-800-621-3362. Again, that number is 1-800-621-3362, or they can use the FEMA app. If you use a relay service, such as a video relay service, caption telephone service, or others, give FEMA the number for that service. FEMA has also approved public assistance for debris removal and emergency protective measures, including direct federal assistance. Under the Public Assistance Program, state and affected local governments are eligible to apply for federal funding to pay for 75% of the approved costs under certain categories. The division of the remaining 25% will be determined at a later date. Additionally, this declaration approves Hazard Mitigation Grant Program assistance, which makes cost-shared funding available to the state for approved projects that reduce or mitigate future disaster risks. Funds from this program will be available to state agencies, local governments, and certain nonprofit organizations only. A wide variety of potential projects are eligible. 72% of the county remains without power. This is down from 86% at this time yesterday. Again, it's going to take a long time to get everyone restored. Again, we also know that there's hundreds of trees that have fallen, thousands of trees that have fallen, hundreds of roads that have been impacted. And for that reason, we have brought in resources from several other counties here in South Carolina, as well as 3 state task forces from South Carolina, 2 from Louisiana, and we had 1 team from California arrive today. In addition, the South Carolina Forestry Commission is helping us out, and the National Guard. We're continuing to work on getting more resources here so we can get those roads cleared and damage assessed. But again, we still need your help with staying off the roads unless it is an emergency so that crews can try to get to that critical infrastructure. Please do not remove any barricades as they are there to protect you from electrical lines or washed out roads. Prepare to support yourself again for the next 5 to 7 days as we are beginning that cleanup. Any debris that is being cleaned up, we're going to talk about that here shortly with Assistant County Administrator Hisha Gamble. A point of distribution for bottled water and MREs, meals ready to eat for citizens, has been set up at 35 East Antrim Drive in the parking lot beside McAllister Square. This will go until 6 o'clock tonight, and then it will be open moving forward every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The shelter at Hillcrest High School remains open with 32 people in it. A medical needs shelter is open at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena for those that have electricity-dependent medical needs along with their caregivers. At last check, there were 11 people in that shelter. If you are not sure if you need a medical needs shelter, you can call the Department of Public Health Medical Needs Care Line at 1-855-472-3432. As residents continue to clean up, we encourage you to report your damage through the SC Emergency Manager app. You can find it in the App Store and on Google Play, and again, this helps us with that federal assistance. For those in Greenville County looking for information on Helene assistance, you can call 864-467-3428 between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Please only call 911 for emergencies. That concludes my report. I'm going to turn it over to Hisha Gamble, Assistant County Administrator.
Hisha Gamble, H-E-S-H-A. The county has activated its debris management contract along with the city of Greenville. Beginning Wednesday, you will see collection of tree debris. Residents should place all tree debris at the roadside, not in bags. We will give further information and instructions tomorrow about debris collection. The county has also begun damage assessment. Teams are out currently. This will continue for the foreseeable future. We do have a streamlined online building permit process for damaged properties. People can do that online. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at the Emergency Management Center. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Hobart Lewis. Things continue to get better every day. Today is certainly better than yesterday. We have more traffic lights working, a little less traffic on the roadways, not so much of a gas station issue like we've had the past few days. So appreciate the public taking heed to that and understanding that there is not a resource supply problem here. We do have fuel, grocery stores are back open and getting resupplied with foods and those type things. Just keep in mind that response times will continue to increase as deputies and law enforcement move around the county. We still have some roads blocked due to trees and power lines down that we can't yet cut away. All of our utility workers have done a magnificent job of getting power on overnight and into this morning. We know there's a lot of work to be done, but just be patient as there are some situations where they need to cut a tree that the power line is wrapped in. So please don't try to go forward. If you run into that on a roadway somewhere, turn around and please find another route. As mentioned earlier, if you see a bridge, a road blocked off, do not, under any circumstance, go around those traffic cones or that barricade. You don't know what may be washed out down below there or may look fine to you. You drive over and it may be enough weight to make that bridge collapse, and then, you know, obviously you would have to be tended to, be rescued in some way. So we ask that you certainly not do that. All of our calls for service are getting more to a normal pace today that we would routinely answer, not necessarily storm related. So certainly very thankful for that, and want to thank all the men and women, all the first responders who have worked here the past 4 days and given up so much of their time, left their homes where they don't have power, leaving their families there to come out on their days off. We called in a lot of folks, and that's what you see here at the Operations Center. But those folks have been out working extremely hard with very little sleep, no showers, all those things. So I hope somehow this message gets to each one of those and their families for their sacrifice to help keep us safe during these troubled times. Continue to pray for each other, continue to be patient, continue to support each other, check on your neighbors, and call us and let us know certainly how we can help them whatever aid they may need, and we'll certainly get resources out to them. Be glad to answer any questions here at the end. Thanks.
Tom Blackwell, Executive Director, Greenville County Emergency Medical Services. As Sheriff Lewis mentioned, his call volume is going down, as is EMS. So we've gone from 322 incidents yesterday, Sunday, down to, at the time of this press briefing, to 133, resulting in 211 transports yesterday, down to 84 so far today. Types of things that we're seeing are mostly medical calls. We're seeing very few traumatic injuries, which is fortunate. The medical calls, number one, is shortness of breath and chest pain. We're getting a lot of that mainly due to people running out of their oxygen, as we discussed yesterday. So we've been delivering oxygen, and of course the special needs shelter that Ms. Stump commented on at the Bon Secure Wellness Arena is able to take care of those needs. So certainly report there. They have a capacity of 110 at that shelter, and it's not even half full now. So there's plenty of capacity. We still have 8 trucks from our neighboring counties in Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley that are helping us out. They're tasked to stay with us until 7 o'clock in the morning, and we will continue to use those and make a decision at that time if we need to continue that contract or if we can handle business on our own. In the last 24 hours, we've only had 7 times that we've been down to 0 ambulances to cover this county, which is nothing short of a miracle. Those episodes lasted less than 3 minutes each, and we were able to clear our hospitals and get back into the street and respond to the needs that you have. We've seen no bad outcomes from any delay in our responses that we know of, and we're continuing to manage the calls as they come in. I will tell you on a personal note, this is my 4th hurricane that I've been in. Katrina was one of those, and I will tell you that since Friday, when I was in the field, it is devastating. This is not Katrina, but I'll tell you it's one minor step down from what I saw in western Mississippi. So it is devastating out there. Be patient, take the good advice of the High Sheriff here. Stay indoors if you need to, although our traffic lights are much better. I just delivered oxygen to a cancer patient, an end-stage cancer patient, about an hour ago, and all the traffic lights have generators that are operating those lights, which is very good. It's helping out our traffic situation. We've had probably 12 motor vehicle crashes today, 37 yesterday, so that is definitely coming down. So we ask for your patience, your endurance, and we will get to you when you call. But again, call 911 just for emergencies if you would. I'll introduce now Chief Greg Farley, Chief of the Parker District Fire Department, President of the Greenville County Fire Chiefs Association.
Good afternoon. One of the main things I'd like to talk about today is announce that the State Forestry Commission has issued a burn ban effective October 1st, tomorrow, October 1st at 6 o'clock in the morning. That is involving a 20-county area, basically all the northern part of the state, all the way to York County, and basically Greenville County and all the surrounding areas. It prohibits all outdoor burning, excluding cooking, okay? The fire service just doesn't have the resource to be able to respond to events that could get out of control from a controlled burn. So it is really the best thing for the state and the best thing for the fire service at this point. So please note that. The fire departments continue to be out in the streets. We're clearing roads, we're evaluating structures, and anything else that pops up. The task force teams that are in the streets have made great progress over the last 2 days and have basically moved from where they were originally assigned to their next assignments. So they are making great progress. We have teams in the northern part of the county, in the central part of the county, and the southern part of the county. And it is an organized attack mode. State Fire has always, to me, has always been top notch. And until you see this type of action in place, it's just amazing. The stuff that they can do, the technology that your State Fire Service has, the professionalism, it is just mind-boggling. So it's been a great experience to see that in a bad situation. We requested firefighting assistance from the State Firefighter Mobilization Program. We received 4 crews up today. One was a ladder truck from Florence County. One was an engine company from Howe Springs, and then 2 crews from Lexington County. We take those additional resources and we embed them with existing fire departments to supplement that manpower at the departments, but also to let some of those full-time firefighters go home and get some rest. So we bring them in for that. Task force teams, like I was saying, are already moving up. One of the things we talked about yesterday, and I'm sure it's going to get mentioned, but the intersections. We've had a number of motor vehicle accidents just in Parker District. It's the intersection control. Please, we said it numerous times. 4-way stop. Consider it a 4-way stop, and don't go through until everybody's stopped. And I just kind of repeat what Sheriff Lewis said about patience. We talked about it yesterday. Please, patience is what we need out there. One of the greatest days to be an American was September 12th. Of course, we're nowhere near that magnitude, but this is Greenville County's time. This is South Carolina's time to stand next to each other, support your neighbor, support your families, and take care of each other. So, thank you.
We have a great team behind us, and Greenville County is fortunate to have this expertise. One of the folks that has not spoken today, I'd like to give him an opportunity, is Malden Mayor Terry Merritt. The municipalities, bar none, they have been great partners in this process in clearing debris and getting lights up and running in some of the core areas of the county. So, you have anything you want to say, or just howdy doody, or go ahead.
Dan knows I'm always got something to say about the city of Malden. One of the things that makes Malden beautiful is our trees. This storm decided to do its own elimination of trees. It didn't skip any of our neighborhoods, so we've got an abundance of trees everywhere. The coordination that our teams are working on with the fire department and our police department, our dispatch, our public works, all of them are volunteering for extended hours just to help out wherever they can. And we're getting there. But realize that when our guys show up to remove the tree and there's a power line down, they will not proceed without authority from Duke Energy saying it's not active. We want them to go home also. So work with us. I think as the sheriff said and Chief Farley said, patience. Just have patience. Pull up to a full stop at the red lights that aren't working. Do a Carolina stop, which means you stop, you look at your neighbor and make eye contact, then you decide to go on. Don't do California rolling stops. They're not getting anybody anywhere. So work with us, have patience. We live in the greatest state in the nation, in my opinion. Of course, I was born here, so appreciate that. Malden, we're going to be stronger, and we're going to get through this just with the other smaller municipalities also. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Mayor. Just in closing, I think we're at 72% of the citizens of Greenville County still don't have power, so we're not back to normal. It feels like we're getting that way. We're heading that way. We're making great progress. We've got a lot of people in the field, and the citizens of Greenville County are in debt to these professionals behind me. So with that, we'll open it up for any questions that you may have.
Specifically for Jessica, do you think that Duke's Friday restoration deadline is realistic, or do you think it's going to be a little bit longer than that?
We're going off of what they said. That's their lane, that's their profession. They know better than I do, so we're going to go with what they say.